guys, I am Ritika Nath, an artist, instructor, mother, Skillshare teacher, and brand owner of Vibrant Parcels, where we manufacture handmade sketchbook, artist grade paints, and much more. I have been exploring skies on my sketchbook for a real long time, and today here I'm sharing a beautiful tutorial with you all. In case you too are a fan of working on sketchbooks, I think that this can really help you to work through an A5 size paper. So let's jump on to the lesson now. We will go ahead and first tape down our paper. I always like to tape down my paper so that there are a lot of crisp edges once I remove the tape. Going ahead and marking my horizon line. It is important to mark an horizon line that helps me to separate the sky from the land or the water area. A small pathway that I want to paint later on. This tutorial is more to do with the sky, hence we have less to do in terms of the bottom area for the pathway or even for the land or water, whatever you want to go ahead and paint. I'm using my Naples yellow. Naples yellow is a beautiful color which I have been often using. Along with that, I must tell you that Naples yellow doesn't react much with the blue that you add, and hence it can be used more with blues like indanthrene blue, cobalt blue, etc. It hardly gives that green like effect. Hence, it is usually preferred by many artists to replace the yellow with the Naples yellow compared to any other yellow that they choose for their painting. I am using my indanthrene blue, but since I need to cover a larger area or a larger space, going ahead with my thickest brush that is pretty huge in size and shape. Again, this particular brush is from Princeton. I have been using brushes from various companies, whether it be Princeton, Davinci, or Escoda. These are usually my go-to brushes. Princeton I majorly use as a wash brush, whereas Davinci as well as Escoda I usually use for painting skies, land, water, or any other parts like birds, florals, etc. In case you are also a fan of florals, please go ahead and check out my earlier video where I have explained various pro techniques for painting the flowers. Going with the top part of the sky and just blending it towards the bottom. Blending is always a very important exercise, and there are various kinds of blending that you can go ahead and do. This one is a pretty simple blending where we are going ahead with our blue and then adding the yellow towards the bottom so that it can blend and give us a beautiful shade while there is no color in the middle, as we do not want to create any muddy effects of our green or blues while we go towards the middle part. This is a great way to avoid these muddy effects in any of your future paintings too. Cleaning out the side area so that there are no backgrounds. I have left the paper to dry off a bit as there were a lot of puddles of water. It is 4 to 5 minutes till your paper becomes a bit damp so that adding the clouds becomes way more easier. Going with some of my sennelier orange. This is my Davinci Petite 0 by 3 brush. The movement of the brush is slanting as well as horizontal. Slanting helps me to provide the direction for the clouds. In case you want to understand this in much more detail, I would request you to go ahead and check out my class on vibrantparcels.com, where there are various ways of going ahead and painting the clouds in much more detail, and lot more exercises we have covered over there, along with the kind of palette, whether it be analogous palette or split complementary palette or harmonious palette. Otherwise, too, you can use some normal palette from the color theory or from the color wheel that you have studied. I am using my brush in a slanting way and changing the values of the color. Initially, I did go ahead with a very light wash of orange and added it in between some of the parts of these clouds where there was already blue, which was existing, adding some more of the this brownish kind of a color. I go ahead with my indanthrene blue, add a bit of my sennelier orange into it, thereby getting a shade which looks more like brown, yet not absolutely the brown that you would not want for a cloud, right? Adding some smaller clouds while we go towards the bottom, though I am not going to add a lot of darker value towards the top. The darkest value cloud will be more concentrated towards the bottom as we have already added. There have been many incidences where I have seen people painting even bigger clouds while they go towards the bottom area or near the horizon line. But as per my experience from the photographs and real time observation of the clouds, I have understood that while we see the clouds towards the top, they are really big and huge, as well as clouds are always moving. Hence, whatever you capture at one moment will be very different than what you capture the other moment. Keeping all this in mind, we will go ahead and start adding more colors towards the bottom. Our color, that is more of the yellow, which is around the horizon line, is still wet. Therefore, the green that you apply written just below the horizon line will give a moving or will give a shade that moves into the yellow, and it would be very easy and soft to see that blend. I think this is one of the most beautiful places, or one of my own favorite parts, when I see the colors moving into each other, giving a very harmonious and beautiful outcome rather than giving any hard edges. Though I have been painting even hard edges, and there are times where you cannot always have a soft painting. It's time to add the darker values near the bottom area. Now, this bottom area, I want to keep it dark as it is closer to me, hence, I can see more details in and around the space. Adding some more blue around the horizon line and rest keeping the blending as is. Going with the road now, as well as just blending the load in a soft way. I'm using some blue and then some of my burnt sienna for the road area, and once this road area is done, we will let the paper dry off completely and then go ahead and have a look at our final painting. Remove the tape at an angle so that there are no ripping off the paper. like this video, do give a thumbs up and follow me on this channel. Subscribe to my channel as well as share whatever you paint on Instagram. I am absolutely there and would love to share it back on my stories. So can't wait to see all your magical paintings along with me.